Hello, it's Tina from Star Property Group. Hope we're all safe and well today. So I just thought I'd pop on and just explain a situation we've got going on at the moment. So we've currently got planning permission in with the council for a city centre conversion. It's a listed building and we're converting it from offices to flats. And we require, as part of the planning process, a noise assessment. The planners were obviously fully aware that we are in lockdown, but they still wanted the noise assessment. So we sent out the noise assessment team and off they put up all the kit, did all the readings, because our property is opposite a pub. They knew the readings would be low because of lockdown, so they factored this in and they actually increased the readings. So and they were submitted, the report was submitted into the council. But these noise reports, I don't know if any of you have seen them, but they are about 20 pages long and they are incredibly complicated. I would say probably 98% of it I do not understand at all. It's quite complicated, but it isn't just a case of, okay, this is the readings. They also look at your building and they look at what remedial action will be required based on those readings to ensure that once you've converted it, the noise is acceptable to the tenants or the people that have purchased the property. So in it went, and they said they weren't happy with the noise assessment because it was in lockdown, which does make me smile because obviously they knew. And they wanted us to look at some historical data, which they wanted us to find. There are lots of other examples within the area on the same street and round the corner. There's lots of shops, restaurants and bars all around that area. But what I wanted to kind of say was, there's a chain. So you've got environmental health that are consulting with the senior planning officer, and it basically they will get the complaints off the tenants or whoever purchases the property should the noise be too high. So they're consulting with the senior planning officer, although it is ultimately his decision, but he's swayed by what they say. So they're the ones that are concerned. But then you've obviously got the architect who wants to ensure that nothing gets ridiculously over-spec'd just because we're in lockdown. And then obviously you've got us that want it done correctly. And then you've got the noise assessment company as well. So there's a lot of people in this chain and trying to get us all to communicate. But when I spoke to the planning officer and he said, yeah, use some other historical data from when it wasn't in lockdown and see how that compares. Well, we've done that, but when the noise assessment was done, they'd already factored it in and they'd increased it by a certain level to say, well, we realise it's a bit quieter at the moment, so we've increased it by this amount. And when we've checked the historical data, it's very similar. But then they weren't happy with the historical data because that building's different to our building. So it all gets really, really, really complicated. But it's trying to get the right people, and you offer them a solution and they're like, no, I don't like that either. So as of yesterday, we were trying to organise it to try and get the noise assessment company to actually speak to environmental health, because they want additional work done, which is fine. It's going to cost money, which is fine. But I'd like to know that when I've done that, that is what they are actually looking for. My fear is they'll come back and say, oh no, that's not what I'm looking for, and then we've spent a load of money for no reason. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can get noise assessment team to speak to environmental health and see, because they're the two sets of people that understand the report. All us in the middle, it all gets a bit wavy because I'm trying to talk technical and then it all goes above my head and it all gets very complicated. So fingers crossed we can get the two sides to have a chat and come to some agreement, and then we can move on with planning. So that would be good. So yeah, I hope we're all good today anyway, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye.